All right. So welcome again, everyone, to this webinar, Avoiding Utility Scams and Accessing Energy Saving Resources. My name is Courtney Hanson. I'm the Deputy Director of People for Community Recovery, or PCR. PCR is an environmental justice organization, and we're based in the Altgeld Gardens community on the far south side of Chicago. Our mission is to enhance the quality of life for residents affected by environmental pollution. And we do this through a few different ways. We work to build community power and self-determination by educating, organizing, and advocating on multiple issues. So environmental justice, but also housing justice, affordable housing, economic equity, and community health. And so this webinar series is really looking at the nexus of housing, as well as energy efficiency and clean energy. We're really excited to provide education and information to help residents utilize existing programs to help make their homes safer, more comfortable, and more affordable, with the ultimate goal of helping folks stay in their homes longer. And we're really thrilled to be partnering with our friends at Citizens Utility Board for this series, and they're going to be presenting tonight. So with that, I will hand it over to my Cub colleague, Feluke.
Oh, am I? Okay, I'm off mute. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Like Connie said, my name is Feluke Connie. I'm from the Citizens Utility Board. I'm just going to give a brief intro, and I'm going to let Kate also introduce herself. But I'm a sustainable communities liaison, and we're going to talk today about just avoiding utility scams and energy saving tips. And I'll give a little bit background overview more in the presentation about who Ucab is. I'm going to hand it over to Kate right now.
Thanks, Feluke. Kate York. I work with Feluke at Cub Citizens Utility Board. We're really excited to have you here with us tonight, and I'm just going to pass it back to Feluke to talk a little bit more about this really important subject. And we're also happy to answer any questions in the chat, answer questions that you have after the presentation. Just let us know. Thanks, Feluke.
Thanks, Kate. Like Kate said, we are part of the Citizens Utility Board. What we do basically is, let me see if this is working. Who Ucab is. We were created in 1983 by the Illinois General Assembly, and what we basically do is help consumers, ratepayers, when it comes to any utility issues that you may be having when it comes to utilities. So when I talk about utilities, I'm talking about electric, gas, phone. We also help with sometimes a little bit with water, depending, but most of the time it's electric, gas, and phone. So we are independent nonprofits, basically working for the interest of ratepayers. We do that through different advocacy lanes. We do that in courts, where we have our general counsel arguing in front of the Illinois Commerce Commission to help in rate cases that affect the charges of your utility bill. And we also do that with outreach. So pre-COVID-19, and we were in the community talking to people about who we were, educating people about utility issues, utility policies, and also helping folks to understand what's going on with their bills and ways to reduce their bills, and also talking about some of these energy efficiency programs that can help you reduce your electric and gas bills. And that's what we're talking about today. So again, we do that in front of the ICC. We've saved consumers over $20 billion since 1983 when it comes to challenging rate hikes and also securing refunds. And then again, before COVID, we were in the community doing over 500 events each year, but now we're doing this online. So I'm glad that we're able to kind of partner with PCR to come virtually and talk to you guys about what we're doing and ways that you can, again, avoid some utility scams that has been going around, and also ways to kind of reduce your electric usage and waste. So what are your utility options? So in the state of Illinois, you have, sorry, there's some feedback going on. But in the state of Illinois, you have supply, you have your supply up. Your delivery is always going to come from ComEd in the northern part of Illinois. So that means that your delivery with ComEd is what maintains your electric lines. So that delivery line is always going to be coming from ComEd, and they're the ones maintaining that electric line and and giving that electricity supply to you, that delivery to you. You have options when it comes to your supply. You can either choose to stay with your utility, your electric utility, which will be ComEd in the northern part of Illinois, or you have what we call retail electric suppliers, REGs, which are third-party suppliers, which I'll talk about in a second, where they can sell you some electric supply. And then you have your municipality aggregation. So the way I kind of explain municipality aggregation is that your city council, some like for example, like Evanston or some kind of city council can come, like the city of Chicago can come and actually choose a supplier that they've vetted out that has some good rate options, and you can opt in or opt out to be part of that municipality aggregation. So you have those three options when it comes to your supply options in the state of Illinois. What we found out is that it's better to either stay with your electric utility, which is usually ComEd in the northern part of Illinois, and then all your municipality aggregation, rather than going into third-party suppliers. And kind of 9 out of 10 times, you won't find a better deal with those retail suppliers because majority of them can give you a lower rate the first 3 months, and then the fourth or fifth month, you're actually paying higher than the utility, your supply, your electric utility rate. So I'm going to go deep into that when we're talking about like how you can look for that on your bill. So what to look for on your electric and gas bill. And feel free to stop me by any time if you need, like, if you have any questions as I'm going along with us. So here's an example of a ComEd bill. So in your ComEd bill, you probably have the regular your amount that you owe. You see your graph of how much electricity that you use throughout the year, and then you have your supply and you have your delivery. Usually on your supply side, you will see who your supplier is on that line. In this example, it says Clean Choice Energy provides your energy. If it says something other than ComEd, that means that is your supplier. That's the person actually supplying electricity to you. And you want to see how much they're actually charging you. Again, like I said, 9 out of 10 times, the retail suppliers, those third-party suppliers, are actually charging you higher than the regular utility, than your regular utility supplier or your municipality aggregation. So in that case, you want to see who your supplier is. So it says Clean Choice Energy provides you energy. And then your delivery, it says delivery comes from ComEd. So that's your delivery charge over there. And you have your taxes and fees. One way to check what your supplies charge is through the back side of your utility. So on the supply side of your utility, you will see your supply charge on the supply backside of this utility on your supply side of your bill, and it will say 13.7. Here it says 13.4 cents per kilowatt. So if you compare that with the ComEd supply rate, which is 7.6 cents per kilowatt, you will see that this person is paying higher than their Clean Choice, than they should be when it comes to the amount of kilowatts they're paying. They're actually paying over $17 when it comes to what they should be paying for their electric usage. So the ComEd supply rate, it should now be updated on the update section. You should have an update section that says price to compare. In the price to compare section on the ComEd side, it will say what the ComEd rate is, and you can actually compare that to your retail supplier rate. So if your retail supplier rate is above that 7 cents per kilowatt, then you're actually paying higher than you should be. So in this is actually it's a good and bad example because you can see that this person is actually paying higher, but it's a good example because you can see where at the back side what that rate is. in a sense kilowatts, and you can compare that with what ComEd's rate is, and you can cancel. One way to cancel is if you go to the front part side of the bill, you will see the name of the company, but also their website and their number. You can call and cancel in 1 to 2 billing cycles. You should see ComEd's name back on the supply side of the bill. So if it doesn't say ComEd again back on the front side of the bill, then you want to call them again, or you can give our office a call. But in 1 to 2 billing cycles, so that's like in 30 to 60 days, you should see ComEd back on your bill again. One ways to avoid some of these scams is that, let me talk about gas first. But one way to avoid some of these gas scams is also that they do come. I think before COVID, they did come door to door knocking on some people's places. So they do go door to door selling their product. And one way to avoid them is by avoiding not to show people your electrical gas bill, because if you don't want to switch, they can't see your account information and also switch you over. Or there have been places where they've gone to like a Costco or like Walmart, and they're giving people like gift card or something like that for exchange for signing up for something. So again, you want to read what their supply side is, what the actual supply rate is, and you want to again compare with the ComEd. But again, recommended is like 9 out of 10 times they actually their rate is actually higher than ComEd, or they might give you a lower introductory rate and then also increase it in 1 or 3 months. So it's always better just to stick with the utility that you know, which is usually ComEd, or your municipality aggregation if you have one. The same thing goes for gas. So with gas, you want to look at what's on your gas side of your bill. Usually you have your actual readings, and then you have your delivery charges, your customer charge. Your delivery charges, your customer charge, and then your gas charge is what you're getting charged for when it comes to what you use, which is terms, times what the gas rate is. The gas rate changes every month. But the electric rate changes every twice a year. So the way that I just talked about with electricity with ComEd, it's gonna be around until end of May of next year, and then it changes again in January of next year, 2021. So ComEd has the summer rate and then the non-summer rate. And this is the non-summer rate that we have until next end of May 2021. So with the gas rate, with the People's Gas, the charge per month for this month is 24.31 per term, 24.31 cents per term. And you can see that it's also going to be prorated on your bill. One thing that we want to check is also on your bill, if it says actual, that's good. If it says estimated on your bill, you want to give People Gas a call and just to get an actual reading, because you don't want to have overestimated or underestimated bill when it comes to what you're paying for your gas. You also want to check to see if there's another page you may have when it comes to your gas bill, because with those gas suppliers, they might have a bill that looks like this, but they have on the backside, they have other charges. And in the other charges, they have more of who your supplier is and also what they're charging you. So if you want to figure out if you're with People's Gas or if you're with NICO Gas, if you're in the southern suburbs, you want to check again the message for you and to see if you have an extra page. And if you do have an extra additional page, you want to check again the supply charge on that page and compare it with the gas per term for People's Gas and also for NICO Gas. On your usage, you want to see what your usage is throughout the month. The usage, usually we say that when it comes to your gas usage, the average should be around 900 per term when it comes to the summer. Sorry, this is kilowatts. But if your usage is higher than 400 or 500 per term during the winter time, then you probably want to do something called insulation or air sealing, which I will talk about later. But your average should be around like 2 to 300 per term when it comes to your gas during the winter time. And you can check that on your usage and also what you're using on your gas charge. So on this bill, the bill seems pretty low actually, which is pretty good for the usage per month on the section. Again, some tips to avoid scams: don't show your bills to strangers. ComCom doesn't call you unless you call them. So if they are calling you and saying they have 30% off or some kind of deal, that is not ComCom. It is a scam. So you definitely want to hang up. If you do want to switch suppliers, again, compare the rates with what ComCom is doing or what People's Gas has, and compare before switching. And if you do signed up for any of this without actually knowing, you can again call that number and cancel, but you can also call the ICC, which is the Illinois Commerce Commission, which is the overarching governing group that regulates all of these utilities. Or you can also give us a call and we're able to assist you as well. So some things to remember: again, once you do cancel from your third-party supplier, it takes 1 to 2 billing cycles to see that utility back on your bill again. So that will be either ComEd or People's Gas back on your bill again. And again, if you feel like you were misled in any way in signing a contract, so if you didn't know that you had a third-party supplier on your contract, again, report it to the ICC, or you can feel free to call us at ComCom and we can assist you and help you. Another thing to remember is that People's Gas, NICO Gas are regulated utilities. So they have to abide by laws and rules by the ICC. And while these third-party suppliers they're not regulated utilities. So when it comes to regulated utilities, they don't make profit of the supply side of your bill. So I'm gonna switch things over to energy efficiency unless folks have any questions about what I just talked about when it comes to avoiding scams.
There are questions in the chat box.
Thank you. Let me see.
Yeah, and Cheryl, to respond to the question about whether or not you can be, or how you know your actual cost if they've been estimating your usage for months or maybe years. By under state regulations, for People's Gas or ComEd, it's not an issue for ComEd because they have smart meters, but for People's Gas, if you have 2 estimated readings in a row, you can actually call People's Gas or Nicor Gas and say, I want an actual reading, because the utility is required to provide an actual reading at least every other billing period. So you're not supposed to be getting multiple estimated readings in a row.
So that means that people will have to go back and really look at their bills, because we know historically in Black poor communities, that's all they were doing was estimating. So that means, would they credit, if I go back and find several of them, I'm just saying hypothetically, several of my bills that has been estimated, so it's required by them to fix that? And then is that a violation on their part too?
Yes, if they don't fix that, if they don't true up your bill for what your actual reading was, that is a problem. And folks can feel free, if you reach out to People's Gas or Nicor Gas and they don't fix your bill, they don't correct the situation, that's a situation that CUB is happy to file a complaint on your behalf. So that's a great time to call CUB, because your utility is not cooperating and they're not upholding their responsibility in accordance with state law.
Because I've been hearing a lot of people talking about the variation in the service, in the delivery charge. Is there just a standard fee for the delivery charge of the energy to your, because everybody's charged that delivery charge, right? Do it fluctuate, or is this a standard price?
It's both. And Felipe, do you want to maybe go back to the slide with the people's gas bill?
Are you talking about the gas side or the electric side, or both of them?
I'm talking either one of them don't make a difference because there's people I've been talking to lately saying some people service delivery charge is $80, some be more than $80. I think she said 200. I was trying to see if she was on here or not. She may be on here because it's important for people to understand that if it's a standard delivery charge, a standard fee, that it shouldn't be fluctuating like that or do it fluctuate.
So
that's what I'm trying to get clarity on.
It does fluctuate. Wait, go ahead, Kay. You were gonna say something.
No, go ahead, Felipe.
I think so. It does fluctuate, but like Kay said, there is a standard, but there is also, I think there's a formula rate when it comes to some of those delivery fees that it doesn't make sense to me. But in some, they have a formula rate where they have some kind of formula that says this is your delivery fee, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if you have more input on that, Kate. But
yeah, sure. So actually,
but if the people live in the same building unit, let's say it's a senior building, for an example, is that you, Pat? They said if you was on live in a building and everybody apartment is the same size in square footage, should it be a different charge in the delivery service?
So your utility bill has a lot of different charges. Some of them are based on your usage, and some of them are just fixed for any residential customer. So it doesn't matter how large your house is or how much energy you use for those fixed charges, you will always be charged the same amount, which can be really frustrating, right? For like, if you're an income qualified customer and you have to pay 32 something a month just to be a People's Gas customer without using any gas, you're paying a lot of money just to be a People's Gas customer, and that is a fixed fee. But then your usage on top of that is going to add to that. And so the delivery section of your People's Gas bill is going to include those fixed charges, and it's also going to include what's called variable rates, and those depend on your usage. So, comparing yourself to your neighbor in a multifamily building, if you have the same unit size, without using any gas, you're both paying the same amount, 32, whatever the customer charges, I can't read it, 33.43.
Okay, but that's the delivery charge, right? That's the delivery charge.
But there are also additional delivery charges in addition to 33.43 that are based on your usage. And so then if your neighbor is using a ton of gas, then their bill is going to be much more than yours.
But these people only use electric though. They only got a ComEd bill. They don't have a People Gas.
So the same idea applies. So going back to the ComEd bill, the fixed delivery charge for ComEd customers is, I think, $11, and I can't read it, or maybe it's $8. Does it say $8? And it's increased since then. This is an older.
So if some people delivery charge is $80, then something wrong, right?
Well, that's because their usage is high. Yeah. So that's so that we want to make sure that they have access to some of the programs that Felipe is going to talk about.
Okay.
But yeah, but it's both. I mean, and that's why for People's Gas, it's a huge problem because you're paying $33 without even using any gas, which is a huge fixed cost just to be a People's Gas customer.
Okay, my second question was related to the third party. When you call and tell them that you no longer want their service, and you say it takes 30 to 60 days, does that mean that I'll still be charged within those 30, 60 days? Or do it stop when I call?
So I think it depends on your billing cycle. So if you call when you're at the end of your billing cycle, it should theoretically stop, and you should have if you call by the end of your billing cycle, it should kind of not stop, but you shouldn't be charged extra if it's towards your billing cycle. I think it depends on how the your billing cycle works and when your bills are being paid, when the bills are being sent to you, is my understanding, but I might be
Okay,
wrong.
so but if that's within our billing cycle, then if you say that it takes 30 to 60 days, then we'll be within that 30 days. So that's on that 60th day people shouldn't be charged then. I'm just trying to get understanding to that. In case that be given that question.
Yeah,
Because if I stop something, the intention is that it's going to stop immediately, right then and there, whether I'm in the middle, because it could be prorated if I'm in the middle or at the end of my cycle. But I shouldn't
right,
be charged the next 30 days. That's what I'm trying to find out.
right. If it was, if the regulations were, I think, on the right track in doing what is right, that is true. But unfortunately, they are allowed to basically continue to charge you that rate until you are switched over, as Felipe said, you know, on the next billing cycle. So what we always tell people is, you know, wait 2 months. If your bill in 2 months still lists the alternative supplier, then you can file a complaint, because, you know, at that point they really need to take you off of. You've already canceled, and that's why when you call to cancel, we recommend
documentation is important, that you know what day that you actually, the date and time and who you talk to then.
Also get a
When you
confirmation.
call to cancel a service then.
Yeah, and also get a. Oh, sorry to call you off. Go ahead, show.
No, you said no. I'm just saying. I was ended in there.
No, I was going to just add to what you were saying, is that documentation is important, and also getting like a confirmation number of what that confirmation or cancellation number might be, so that you have that in your documents as well. So in the next 2 to 3 billing cycle,
so they are required to give you a cancellation number, ticket or something?
depends on the company.
Yeah.
The third party company I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Depends on the company. Yeah, it's up to them. I mean, there's no like hard and fast rule about confirmation numbers. Some of them have them, some of them don't. But as you said, Cheryl, it is crucially important to write down when you called, any details about when you called and all of that, because that's going to be really important if you want to end up filing a complaint with the Illinois Commerce Commission if they refuse to cancel your subscription. And as long as your contract wasn't signed before January 1st of this year, they can't charge an exit fee when you cancel that plan. So you can't be charged anything for canceling unless your contract was signed. And we probably don't really run into that anymore because we're about a year out. But we used to run into, it's because the state law changed as of January 1st of this year. Now those alternative companies aren't allowed to charge exit fees.
Yeah, they shouldn't be charging you exit fees as of this year. But
what that fee look like? What's the big? What is like? How much was it? Do y'all know?
They used to
$50.
$50, yeah, for exit.
Oh my God.
Before then, when we first had suppliers, they were charging whatever. There were no caps, and that's something that CUB worked really hard to at least get a cap. And then CUB actually worked really hard on legislation that got rid of the fee entirely. But unfortunately, they couldn't violate contracts that already existed, right? So so it's only for contracts that you've signed after January 1st of this year.
And also, if you do feel like you signed something, or you didn't know what you were signing, or you felt like somehow someone signed you up for something that you didn't sign, also kind of report that and file that to the ICC, the Illinois Commerce Commission. But also give us a call. We can take a look at it for you guys as well to do an investigation, see if that's what their procedure matches what it should be. So.
Can we just take a poll from the audience for the people that's on here? Do they actually read their bills, or do you actually read your bill? There's a thing on here that says reaction, and you can put up your hand and say if you read it like that, if you see mine. Do everybody understand? Do you read your bill, or you just pay the bill? Do you understand your bill?
Yeah, so I think Cheryl's asking if you want to react to that. Do most people read their bills?
No.
So that you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Most of the people don't read their bills, but they just pay it. So it's important for us to start reading because you don't know if people are out there putting bogus stuff on your bill. I just learned that they only could do they can't do a lot of estimating. That's they can't do that. So it's important that we learn how to look at our bills because we don't know, what they charge. You need to know what they charging you. Just put it like
Well,
that.
and Cub will look at your bills with you too. We offer a free service. If anyone on this webinar is interested, we can set up an individual appointment with you and walk through your bills and say, okay, this is what this charge is, this is what this charge is. And it's a free service, there's no strings or anything. It's just a service we offer to try to make sure people aren't overpaying, and as Cheryl's saying, that they really know what's going on their bills.
Yeah, and just what I guess echo what Cheryl and Kate was saying. We do have that free service, but also if you feel like you do like something is, you feel like there are some red flags on your bill, or you feel like something's happening in your bill and you don't understand, you can also give us a call. Our hotline is open like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I don't have the hotline number right off my head, but we can put that in the chat box later. But you can give us a call, and you will reach a live person, and that person can assist you as well.
We can also send that out to folks via email after the webinar.
Thanks, Courtney.
Okay, that was informative.
Sweet. Thanks, Cheryl, for those questions. So I'm going to move along to talking about energy efficiency, which is simply just using less energy to do the same thing. So using less electricity or gas to do some of the same things that use electricity or gas do, your appliances use. So one of the things I'll talk about is light bulbs. So usually we recommend people to use LED light bulbs. So I don't know if you guys can see the screen. Okay, it's just me and my screen. But
we can see it.
Okay.
We can totally see it.
Okay. So we recommend people to use LED light bulbs. They use less energy than like an incandescent light bulb. They use 90% less than an incandescent light bulb. So in this example, if you have like an older 60-watt bulb, that will cost you around like $2.59. With a newer 10-watt LED bulb, that would cost you around 43 cents. 43 cents, sorry. 43 cents. And by using that same that light bulb to light a porch light or to light like your kitchen or dining area or whatever it may be, you've saved around like $2.16 to save on that same amount of light porch and the same amount of time as well. So by just switching light bulbs, you save money. So they use, again, LED light bulbs use, again, like about 90% less energy than the incandescent light bulbs. You can also get a CFL light bulb. The CFL light bulbs are those like squiggly light bulbs, and I feel like they use about like 75% less. So those are also, that's another option, but with LED light bulbs, it's a better option because you're saving more and still using the same light to light up your home, but using less energy, and it's saving you as well. So when you save on your electric use, you can actually see that again. I think we touched a little bit about this when it comes to delivery, but on your supply side of your bill, you have your supply charges, and it shows you what you use. So your kilowatt that you use to light up your home or to use electricity to your home. So you have that supply charge on your supply charge, your transmission charge, and also on your delivery fees, and also on your taxes and fees as well. The same goes with your gas. Again, your usage is on your delivery, your distribution charge, and also your storage charge, and also your gas charge, and so on and so forth on taxes and fees as well. So it does matter how much electricity that you use. If you can lower the amount of kilowatts you use when it comes to your supply, you will see that the kilowatts is what they use to measure what electricity you use, your usage when it comes to electricity, and then terms is what they use to measure your usage when it comes to gas. If you can lower that kilowatt or those terms, you will see your electric and gas bill amount go down as well. One of the things I'm going to highlight is also something called the Energy Efficiency Program. It's on your taxes and fees on both electric and gas. And that tax that we all pay as ratepayers also funds some of the programs that we'll talk about in a minute. So there is something called vampire power. So when you have your TV or something on plugged, let's say I have my TV plugged on and I have my TV plugged on, but I have my TV's off, but my TV is plugged on. I'm still using some kind of electricity called vampire power. So that's called wasted electricity. And that can actually be a little bit avoided by using something called the a smart power strip. So smart power strip basically works the way it works is that when you have your TV, you can have your TV on the always on button, on the always on outlet. You can have like your sound, I don't know, your sound system or DVR system or the next two outlets. And whenever your TV is on, your sound system and DVR gets turned on. And then whenever your TV is off, the sound system and then your DVR system gets turned off. That way you're not using electricity that's called wasted electricity when those appliances don't need to be on when your TV's off. So this is called something called the advanced power strip, and it's also included in some of the energy efficiency programs that we'll talk about in just a few seconds as well. Then you have your shower heads. So low flow shower heads help to reduce water. So they can save you about, I think it says about 2,700 gallons of water per year. And you also have the option to get it handheld. I know in the last section that we talked about with home repairs, I know Tiffany was talking about having a handheld, the home repairs having an option where they can actually install an handheld option to your shower or your bathroom. So it's actually good to have like a low flow shower head that can save again on how much water that you use when it comes to showering or doing anything else. Thermostats. So with thermostats can help you save heating as well. Especially if you have a smart thermostat and you're able to set it according to what the recommended settings, which is 68 degrees during the wintertime and 78 degrees during the summertime. So even if you're able to set your programmable thermostat that way too, you can see some savings. Just setting it can help. By just setting it can help you kind of program and forget. I guess is what they call it, program, set it and program it and forget about it. So you don't have to you don't have to continually program your thermostat in how you're heating and cooling your home. So by setting it, it can actually help to reduce your heating cost. Hot water pipe heater, sorry, went beyond that slide. So if you're able to set up your hot water pipe heater temperature to about 120 degrees, you can save up to $60 per year on that. So you have hot water heater tank and pipe installation can save you more money. And if you can also turn that temperature to 120 degrees, it can save you about $60 a year. If you do have a laundry in your home, having a laundry machine and setting it to cold can save you about $40 a year. And then having wash full loads and air drying your clothes can also help with that as well. So if you're able to kind of use the code setting, especially when it comes to most of your laundry, it can save you about $40 a year when it comes to like washing, and air drying your laundry can help with saving some costs when it comes to laundry as well. And in all of those things, I'm also going to talk about like energy efficiency appliances. So even if you have like a refrigerator or laundry or something that's an old laundry or a machine that needs to be replaced, there are some rebates out there that can help with switching to a more energy efficiency machine that uses less energy to power up those appliances. So they're called I think they have to be Energy Star. Most of them have Energy Star certification, and they use less electricity to kind of power up those machines. And ComEd has like some rebates when it comes to those appliances as well. Ventilation. So if you're able to kind of use your ventilation in your bathroom or kitchen exhaust fan, that helps you control moisture, but also helps to kind of avoid having those hot summer, having hot days or hot days during the summertime and also during the wintertime as well. So if you're able to kind of use your bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans and also open the shades during the winter and close them during the summertime can help, especially when using your fan and your exhaust, when you're using your exhaust fan. Weatherization. So I've done this before, like in my apartment, my window was pretty chilly, so like air can flow easily through my windows, pretty thin. So I did weatherization around my windows and just sealing them up. Doing weatherization, either like sealing up any cracks in your home that you feel like air is flowing in, either through your window or through your door, can help make your home more cool and more warmer, especially in the wintertime, and more cooler during the summertime as well. So you can do that weatherization by yourself, or a professional can help you do that through a blower door test. So they do have a blower door test that is kind of a bigger machine where they're sucking air out of your home and seeing where there might be air cracks and spaces in your home that might need some air sealing. And that can be done to your home. They can identify places where there can be air sealing done to your home to again reduce anywhere where you're actually wasting your heater or your AC, and they can seal that to your home as well. They do this in some of the energy programs I'll talk about, especially with energy savers. They do that blower door test where they do that air sealing and also do the insulation for your home. So this also helps with just making sure that your home is cooler during the summertime and then warm during the winter time. So out here, so that here's not, wasting here. Here's not coming in from the outside into your home. So I talked about this briefly. Just adding insulation to your attic and basement can actually save you more. I know a lot of people think that it's the windows, which it might be in some cases, but even just having insulation done to your attic and basement can help you with losing more than 15% of your energy. So it can help you with saving 15% of your energy in the winter and summertime. So having like an insulation in your attic and your basement, because that's where usually I have a graph for this. So instead of me using my hands, I can show you on the graph. So usually when you have your home in like a normal single family home, you have your rooftop. There might be some cracks. There might be some outside places where air is flowing out of your home, and one way that you can do that is through insulation and air sealing. So by sealing those cracks, I call them crack spaces, with air sealing and then insulating that attic, can help make your home more warmer during the winter time and then cooler during the summertime. And then again goes for your basement. By just doing those air sealing and also doing that insulation in your basement can help again seal those spaces where you might be losing here in your basement and the attic. So again, this is also other areas in your home where you might have some ways where you might be losing hair, and then they might just have to do some quick air sealing to those places. It might be like your window, which can be a little bit, but focusing more on the attic and basement will save you about 15% when it comes to your heating and cooling expenses, and then also focusing on your doors and the windows just by sealing them, air sealing them can help.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You know, at one point in time, they used to put insulation in between the walls. Why they no longer do that anymore? Why they only recommend the attics and the basements now?
So they still do that in the walls. I think it depends on if it's what type of wall it might be. But they do insulation in the walls still. I think it depends on your home and what wall it might be. But you should have insulation in your home unless it's like a brick wall or another type of wall. But you should have insulation in your walls. But the reason we focus on the attic and basement is that that's where they see the most air. I guess the most I won't say hair lossage or most energy
Air
waste.
drafts that comes in
Yeah,
out the house.
yeah. Energy waste comes from from the basement and the attic.
Okay.
But you can see also like air does also go away. You do lose air from your walls as well, but it's not as much as adding the basement and the attic. That's the most cost-effective way. So when it comes to energy efficiency, you have options. So I'm going to talk about the programs that I've been talking about, but not talking about. So one of the program I was mentioning was with the taxes and fees when it comes to energy efficiency tax. There's a ComEd Home Energy Assessment. It's jointly offered by ComEd and People's Gas. It's not income qualified, so you don't have to fall into an income bracket to get this, because all of us as ratepayers help to fund this program. What you get from this home energy assessment by ComEd and People's Gas is they'll come to your home and give you those free LED light bulbs I talk about. They'll switch them over to LED light bulbs. If you have a whole incandescent light bulb, they'll take it out and give you a free LED light bulb. Also shower heads and actuators for your kitchen sink and also for your bathroom. They do hot water pipe installation, and then they will give you a programmable thermostat as well. If you wanted the advanced power strip that I talked about, where you can eliminate those vampire power or energy waste, you can get that for a discounted amount. I want to say it's $10, but I'm not quite sure, but it is a discounted rate. It is $10. Thanks, Kay. And then you have a smart thermostat. You can get that for a discounted rate as well. So this all done through the home energy assessment program by ComEd and People's Gas. So not income qualified, but it is a really good program for folks. Another good program is through the Chicago Bungalow Association. It's called the Energy Savers Program. I think, again, we've mentioned this in our last session when Tiffany was here, is that you can get this. It's an easy application process. It's 1 or 2 or 3 questions, pretty easy. The income is 80% AMI. But again, they don't check, but you want to be honest. So you can like sign up for that program. Again, if this is the household size, if you have a household size of 1, is if you make 51,000 or lower, you qualify for that for a house size of 1. So you can see your outsize. It's pretty it's a pretty good program. What they come and do is, again, this is a free program as well. What they come and do is they do that air sealing that I talked about in your attic. They will do insulation. They do clean and tune up for your furnace and boiler. Again, all of this is free. They talk about the bathroom ventilation fans. They do weather stripping and other measures as needed. And I know also with this program, they do give you those although they do give you those LED light bulbs and also energy smart power strips and stuff like that for free for this program as well, as long as you meet that income requirement. So it's a good program. It's easy to sign up for it. It's called the Chicago Bungalow Association Energy Savers Program. You don't have to have a bungalow to have this home. have this program. You just have to have a home that is built before 1970. And I feel like that's most Chicago single family homes. So you can sign up for this program, and then they will come into your home and actually install this again for free. One of my friends did it. It took about an hour and a half to about an hour and a half to 3 hours to do, depending on the measures that needed. It's an hour and a half to 3 hours to do those installations and those come in and do those install of those programs and those appliances to your home.
So is this program only eligible for homeowners? What about renters?
Yeah, so with this program, with the Chicago Bungalow Energy Savers programs, it's only available for single family homeowners. Yeah. So for renters,
what if you rent a home though?
If you're renting a home, for the I think for the home energy assessment, if you're renting that home, you can just call and they can do that for you if you're renting that home. But for the energy savers program, I feel you have to own the home. So it has to be owner occupied. Unless it's like a 2-flat, the owner owns the first flat and you're on the second flat, and you can talk to the owner and they can do the entire 1 and 2 flats.
Okay, that was going to be my second question. But outside of doing all these things, do they talk about energy audits to see, if you like if they notice that your iron is still plugged in? Do they educate people about the appliances that they use, that what they could disconnect to save on energy costs also? Or is it just doing these few items that you just talked about?
Yeah, I don't know if much education is going on. I feel that would be good if the technicians actually did some education.
Because that's most important, because if you see somebody using a lot of stitching cords,
yeah,
and is in there 24/7, then that's a lot of energy that usage is going on in a unit. So that would be educating if they just help people to understand how they can reduce our behaviors are challenging, because a lot of times people don't understand that when they leave they power cord for their phones in their sockets for hours and hours or 20 or all day, they paying for that cost.
Yeah.
And if they just take it out and unplug it, they save it on cost.
Yeah.
That's true. I just wanted to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Go ahead, Kate.
Sorry, I really didn't mean to interrupt. I did want to jump in though. I mean, it's a very good point. Education is there's always a need for more education, but the majority of people's usage of energy is heating and cooling. And so if you're getting your home weatherized, it's going to really help lower costs. I mean, that's the major culprit when it comes to people overusing electricity and gas is because, their home is leaking, because it's just because it's been neglected. Maybe it's in a historically disinvested area, and that's why these programs do exist to provide these large incentives if you're income qualified, because there's a recognition that there's been inequity there in terms of investment in housing stock, and that's the big culprit when it comes to energy usage. I mean, it does help to unplug stuff, but I wouldn't stress out about it too much if people are concerned about saving energy, unless you're like, it will bring things down a little bit, but the big user of energy is just if you're treating all of this air and then it's just escaping your home.
I mean, those other things I just mentioned exacerbate the problem, because if you look at it from a cumulative standpoint, if every socket in the house that got something that can be unplugged, I mean, it's only exacerbating the problem that you already have structurally with the unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it all helps for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say, especially for people who are renters, you might not have as much flexibility to kind of do some of these programs or talk about more of the airflow that comes to and for your apartment, except for like if you want to weatherize your apartment by yourself. So it's good to kind of take a stock of how you're using electricity and see if there are ways that you can change your behavior. But with some of these programs, it's mostly especially if you have a home, it's best to focus on like some of the air sealing and the energy flow that comes, the airflow that comes in and out of your homes. But for renters, feel free to, I unplug my microwave. So any dollar you can save, you can do that, and it can help with that as well. So you can unplug anything you need to unplug, or even getting those smart power strips like that I talked about can definitely help you in just getting started in saving like energy. Yeah.
I have two quick notes, and I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Luke, but on that note,
the reason why I bring up, you got more renters than you got owners in Chicago, right? You know, and anytime in the wintertime that people have to put cloth or something to their window because their window sills are in the wintertime, it got ice on it. You know, you see condensation on the windows, and that's because there's air seeping in. And, you know, being a renter, you know, you really, you know, I don't know how we deal with slum landlords with this whole process. I don't know how we can engage them. But it's important to know because people still put up all different type of stuff to block that air from coming in their house, or the windows freezing in the wintertime. That's that's because of the disinvestments in our neighborhood. But still, though, I was, you know, how is a way that we can make sure that renters are included in this in getting this type of services for their house. Now, something else I want to say that I heard, but I don't know how to I haven't had the chance to verify but when you're talking about energy efficiency appliance like stoves and refrigerators, I heard that they have certain programs that actually give stoves and refrigerators outside of the lighting program and the IWAP, outside of those programs, that ComEd, one of these utility companies, I can't remember which one she said, they actually would do a replacement, not giving them a discount, but actually giving them a stove and refrigerator. So if y'all can find that information out and we can get that out to these communities that really need it. I don't think it's an affluent neighborhood that they did it for, but I'm just saying, the people that most need it, you know, they working with stoves that need to be thrown away, you know, because all kind of problems with the stove that have to be done. So I'm just saying, if y'all hear anything about those opportunities that exist, that PCR would like to know about it, because we have people out here that really, I talked to a senior, she said she would love a new stove because her stove is 30 years old. Yeah. One thing he told me about one thing, she take care of that stove because her stove is 30 years old. You know what I mean? So any future stove that she gets, she may keep it another 30 years. You know what I mean? So she must take care of it, but still though, you know, a senior, you know, they on a fixed income. And it's almost like non-existent for them to replace them old appliances like that. You can't bring them up to be energy efficient. So if y'all hear anything about that, if y'all hear any opportunity like that, we would love to know about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any programs that gives replacement stoves or refrigerators, but I do know that they do have like the rebates for that, but except for in IWAP with the LIHEAP, I haven't heard of any programs. But
I know someone that worked for the utility company. I know somebody that worked for the utility company, and they told me that, but I just got to remember. I just can't remember the intricate detail that she told me that she know for a fact that they do. I just can't remember which one she said it was though. But I'm gonna talk back with her.
Cheryl, you need to let us know because we don't know.
All right, I will do that. Thanks, Cheryl. I'm going to talk about the last program. Unless, Kate, you had something else that you wanted to say.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you are curious about the electricity that you're using, every ComEd customer is entitled to their electricity data. So if you want to know how much you're using at any given hour of the day, for the last 2 years, that information is available to you through your online ComEd account. And if anyone wants to look at that or has questions about that, I am, Felipe or I are happy to walk you through that and to help you access that information, because you have access to that information per the law. So I just wanted to add that. And then if you're curious about how much electricity any device is using, you can get this device called a kilowatt. And you plug your electric device into the kilowatt and it tells you how many kilowatt hours it's using. And those are available for free at the library. So you can check those out. I know with COVID, it's difficult, but if your library is still doing checkouts, you can go and they usually have those available.
Sweet. Thanks, Kate. The last one I'm going to add is the IWAP. I think, Cheryl, you touched upon this as well. So this is the best option if you can, if you do qualify for that income bracket. It is owner occupied for single family homes, and they do the entire thing that you might qualify for. So they do have the max of giving 15,000 per home in any of this energy efficiency retrofits for your home. So you do have a lot of options that you can qualify for if you qualify for those measures. So they do air sealing, they do the attic and wall installation, HVAC repair, replacement. They do the water heater repair replacement program, lighting replacement, refrigerator replacement, ventilations and moisture control measures, and many more measures. I think we touched upon this a little bit last week when Amy brought those energy efficiency measures that folks may have. So they do all these measures. It's free. It's just you have to apply through CETA, and then you have to meet that income qualification. So if you do meet that income qualification, you can apply, and they do those measures for your home for free.
Well, so I see in here you got refrigerator replacement.
Mm-hmm. So this IWA,
this is the IWA program, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know they did the refrigeration replacement.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Well, if they do refrigeration, they might as well do stove too replacement.
They do stoves. Yeah, I think because Cheryl, you were saying outside of IWAP, we don't know of any program, but IWAP does replace stoves if your stove needs replacement.
Yeah. So it's any measure that you qualify for. So I think they do assessment of your entire home, and whatever measure you qualify for,
do they allow you to use up the whole 15,000, or they just go with what is the greatest need, the greatest replacement?
I don't know exactly how they calculate or do those measures, but I know that the max is 15,000, but I don't know exactly how CETA does that or what.
I'm pretty sure they try to maximize your benefit according to home, and there is a wait list to get in, but once your house is being treated, they really try to maximize your benefit, because once your house is treated, you can't do it again for like 20 years. So
is it 10 or 20 years?
They say 10. I've heard you can't. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not a good source on that, because I've heard if your house was treated before like 94, which is obviously much longer than 10 years ago. So I think maybe it varies by agency.
So that is all that I have. Again, folks, we can help you. This is our hotline number. I have it here now. You can call hotline number. We're Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. 1-800-669-5556. You will reach a live person. Her name is Jan. She will connect you to whoever you want to talk to, and also answer any of the questions that you may have around your utilities. You can also check our website. And if you do want us to look over your bill, you can reach out to me or Kate. Or you can email your bills to ubc@citizensutilityboard.org too, and we can check out your bills and help you understand what's going on with your electric or gas bill, or even if you have a phone bill, we can also look into your phone bill as well.
Oh, that's great. So I'm looking at, like, for an example, if a homeowner do all these things as far as the installation and using all the energy efficiency apparatus to help seal up their windows, monitor their bills. Overall, what do that look like a cost saving within a calendar year? You know, that look, you know, because some of the stuff I say I had on here, you could save, you know, just by doing installation, you could save $400 on your utility bill. So when you start looking at this from an accumulative standpoint, you know, doing all these different things as far as energy efficiency, people can really see a real savings in their utility costs. And so we just pay it. You know what I mean? In our community, we just like you, I ask people to raise their hand. We just pay the bill, but it's more than just giving your money up, you know, just paying it. It's not being knowledgeable where your money is going, you know, and how you can know, and don't, you know, because that extra money may not seem like a lot right now, but it over a period of time, you just throwing the money away that you can use in some other areas if we use these tools that is available for us for free and these resources that comes out, you know. So that's what I love about having these type of conversation discussions, because education is key to understanding. First, you need to learn how to read your bill, right? Understand and look at it, and there's no such thing as a dumb question. It becomes dumb when you don't ask, you know, and because it's bugging you, you know, that stuff gonna bug you. So you know, if anybody on this discussion, you got any questions that you know you want to ask it now, because we may not know, they may not know the answer, but they will do the research that is needed to get you the correct answer that you need. You know.
Okay, I have a question. This is Pat. I have a question. I live in Lansing in the senior building. It's 59 units in my building. Do you all offer any services like installation? This building is old. It's badly insulated, and I got an incense stick today and burned it to see where all this air is coming from on my legs and my feet and my back. And I noticed that in the bathroom there is an exhaust. It's not a fan. It's just a unit. It's just a cutout unit, and the air goes up the bathroom through the exhaust hole. In the kitchen is also a hole, but it's not exhaust. It's supposed to be exhaust, but it's pushing cold air in. And that's where the majority of my cold, well, not the, yeah, I guess it would be the majority of my cold air is coming from that hole in the kitchen wall, because it's wrapping around my neck, wrapping around my back and my legs. My feet are cold. I'm also getting cold air from the windows. The windows are steel. Instead of being vinyl, they replaced the windows with steel. And that steel is extremely cold in the winter and extremely hot in the summer. I have bought what do you call those weather stripping. I have bought that from Home Depot and tried to fill every hole, every space I felt cold air coming from, and it helps some, but not enough. And we don't have anybody here that can put up those windows, that plastic for the window, the window insulation kit, because the janitors were told not to go into our apartments because of COVID. So if we want to have it done, we have to find somebody from family members or something to do it. Well, I don't have family here, so I don't have anybody to do it for me. So I'm asking, is there any way that we can get, because there's a lot of us in here that don't have family. So is there any way for us to be able to get some kind of services where, because my bill right now is already $62.
And this is like And this is for a senior building. Do you know how many, you said how many units are in this building?
It's 69 units, 69 units in this building. We're in Lansing.
So there are multifamily programs where you can get, they can come in and do some of the measures I talked about if you talk to your property owner about it. So, I mean, some of the issues that you talk about, I think I don't know how good of a relationship the property owner is, you and the property owner, but if you can talk to your property owner about it and share some of the multifamily programming that is also mostly free to multifamily homeowners, then they can qualify for some of these measures as well. When it comes to like ventilation and some of the things that you talked about, Sally, I don't know exactly what, like, where I can point you to unless, yeah.
What about, wait a minute, I'm trying to.
I think if you can talk to your property owner and try to see if they can do some of the.
What about Elevate Energy? Don't they do energy assessments and get funding from ComEd to do this type of stuff?
Yeah, I put the link to the Elevate program. So that's something that People's Gas and ComEd participate in. NICOR has their own program, and I was just looking up the number for that one for Lansing. But for the health and safety issue,
we don't use gas here. We only use electricity.
So the ComEd program is probably going to be the most direct way if your property manager is willing to participate. As Cheryl said, that is a barrier for a lot of renters because landlords don't have the right, even though these programs are free or very cheap, you got to have a landlord who's willing to participate. So I would say your best bet is to have them call the ComEd program. But I also wanted to say, when it comes to the ventilation issue, they do some health and safety measures through the ComEd program, but the CETA program that we were talking about, CETA does provide weatherization for multifamily buildings. It's just they don't serve as many buildings as the ComEd program does, because they're so comprehensive. So CETA is another option, but especially now, it's really difficult to get through to them because they've got a lot of people calling them right now.
Yeah.
But the ComEd program, you should definitely see if your landlord would be willing to contact them because the ventilation, I believe they do address that as part of that program.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and most of the measures they're either free or low cost.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
May I ask a question? It's Valerie Johnson.
Go ahead, Valerie.
Where I live at, I have Ameren as my electricity provider. I got a letter the other day saying that I had changed my service, but what company, I don't know. Mind you, I didn't change it. Okay, so now they're telling me that in order for me to change it back to Ameren, I have to pay a reconnection fee when I never allowed another service of the name of the service and company I don't even know, mind you. But I think this is a scheme to make people have to pay a reconnection fee.
Yeah, so you might have been switched. I don't know exactly how you might be switched, but maybe somehow it does sound like it might be like a utility scam where you might be switched without your knowledge with a third-party supplier. So you don't, exactly. I don't know, you shouldn't have to pay like what it called. Yeah, there shouldn't be any like exit fee or any reconnection fee. There shouldn't be that. Is that, so when did you get this notice? This year? Recently?
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday. Okay.
Yes.
And have you called, you've called them to cancel the supplier?
Yeah, I don't know who the new supplier is. That's the whole issue. But I did call Ameren and told them that I didn't change my service at all.
Yeah, it's tricky because the utility often doesn't do anything about the supplier because they're really hesitant to be more aggressive about it. And so people will stay on supply plans because they called the utility company and the utility company didn't do anything. So Valerie, if you want to, if you're able to, I don't know if you're connected via email, but I can put my information in the chat. If you're able to get in contact with me, I would love to dig into this further because that's very confusing, and I want to make sure that you're not being charged any strange fees.
It is. Thank you. And I just found out got a little info about this new equipment that's called Power Volt, Power VOLT. And it's supposed to reduce your electricity and gas bill by 90%. You have to order it online because they're being blocked by the electricity and gas companies from putting it on the public market, because they know that people will be changing over. So if everybody want to look into Power Vote online and see how to purchase one, because I know I'm going to purchase me one. And it tells you to plug it up. I'm sorry?
What is that exactly? What's a power volt?
You plug it in to a plug closest to your circuit breaker. And what it do is stop the surges, like when you have your TV plug, when you're gone for the day and the TV's off and it's still charging you, it stops that. And it also stops them from overcharging you. So it's said to save you 90% off of your bills every month. Yeah. It's called Power Volt.
Yeah,
Be careful. That might be a scam.
I would say, yeah, be careful. It does, because you usually with the charge of electricity, they do measure what you use through your meters. So yeah, I would say be careful because it doesn't. I've never heard of it, and it doesn't sound. It doesn't sound legitimate.
Sounds too good to be true.
Right. I mean, 90%. I was like, wow. That's why I wanted to say something about it, because I know that you guys would have known about it if it was something that was real.
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
Love that,
although, if you want to invest in surge protectors, that is an option, because that has happened in some communities, where they've experienced power surges and then you have to replace all of your equipment. I mean, that is an issue, but yeah, I don't know about saving 90%.
Yeah, that sounds too good to be true.
Sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, but we just got to be careful. There's all kind of scams out there when it comes to our
uses
today. But it's interesting to know that from what you just said, somebody just can switch you, and then you got to pay a fee. But what if she said that she didn't do this? This wasn't her. She didn't call nobody and ask them to switch her stuff, and she still got to pay a reconnection fee. That don't sound right.
Yeah,
no, she doesn't.
Doesn't have to. Yeah, we can look into it for you. Like, that's where Cobb is. You can come actually give us a call, and we have customer advocacy that we do investigations and file complaints to see what's going on. Because you have to have consent to switch over. And if you didn't have a consent, then that's definitely a red flag.
Exactly, because I don't even know who I'm supposed to have switched to.
Yeah.
Then that ain't right.
You think? I mean, hopefully you can see Kate's information and you can reach out to her. I'm sure she'll be able to help out with like digging further into it, because you shouldn't have a reconnection fee.
Right, just like in my lease, it said that I'm not supposed to pay a water bill. Well, to make a long story short, they cut my water off for 2 whole days. And it stressed me out so bad that I got in contact with this organization, and they found out that I wasn't supposed to be paying the water bill anyhow. They finally turned my water back on after the 3rd day, but what about my stress I went through? It's just a lot of scamming down here because it's a college town, and they take advantage of these kids. They really do.
Sorry to hear that, Valerie. Thankfully, like, your water is back on. I'm glad that worked. So hopefully we can help you with your electricity situation too. So I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, thank you. I'll be calling you guys tomorrow.
No problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm looking at the time right now. I don't know if we just want to end this and then also send some of the information that we have on the chat later to folks, if folks have any last lingering questions.
No, I know this is very informative though. So
Well, thank you, Cheryl, for your questions. Thank you, everybody, for your questions and coming in today. I don't know,
Thank you.
Courtney, you want to say any last minute words to folks?
Just thanks everyone for coming, and we will send out some resources and the recording of this webinar to all of you. So you'll have that, and you can feel free to share it with your friends and neighbors who weren't able to attend. And thanks again to our friends at Cub, Fuluke, and Kate for spending their evening sharing all this great information with us.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
me. Thanks again, Cheryl.
okay. All right,
Good
bye
night,
bye.
everyone.
Bye.